to the over 12 noon Eastern Time, March the 11th, 1998. Former Arkansas Governor Jim Guy Tucker, a key figure in the Whitewater investigation, is eating well. He is breathing well and moving well. Also, Kathleen Willey, most recent witness into the grand jury in Washington, D.C., is eating well, breathing well, and moving well. And as of 12:07 Eastern Time, March 11, 1998, both former Governor Jim Guy Tucker and Kathleen Willey are still alive. Nice to have you with us, ladies and gentlemen, as we get rocking and rolling for another session of broadcast excellence. Now, we'll get to the legal stuff with the Clinton-Lewinsky situation. Actually, the most interesting legal stuff is after Willie's testimony yesterday, which all you need to know about that, by the way, is she went in without a lawyer. First witness to go in there without a lawyer, I think. If not the first, one of the few. That is a tremendous indication that she is a friend to the prosecutor. She doesn't need a lawyer in there. And there are a couple of other items, too. The president has offered to testify. Well, the president's lawyers have sent out, now this is the story, have sent out feelers supposedly that the president would be willing to answer questions before the grand jury. Wants it videotaped, and that would require some further discussions. They have to agree to do that. The truth of this is that he probably was invited before he brought it up. I imagine what really happened here is that the independent counsel, Judge Starr, invited, not required, because you cannot make the target of a grand jury investigation appear. You cannot compel them in legal terms to testify. You can invite them if they'd like to show up. And I suspect that did happen, but the White House spin is that they started it all. The White House says, hey, we're thinking about going up there. We'd like to answer some questions. Why do that? Well, the reason is to make it look to the American people as though the president isn't stonewalling and does want to get to the bottom of this, or top of it, the middle of it, wherever it is he thinks that it's best for him to be. But I will bet you that he is very, very much the recipient of the invitation, and they're making it look like they started it in the White House, and it was their idea. I'm also told, ladies and gentlemen, by those close to the investigation, I've gotten a leak. Yes, my friends. I.L. Rushbo got a leak this morning, and I am told by sources close to the investigation, I'm not making this up, that this is a very active grand jury, and that the grand jurors themselves want to ask the president some questions. They can, you know. They don't just sit there and listen to the prosecutors ask the questions. They can raise their hands and jump in any time. And I'm told that they are doing that, and that they'd very much like to ask the president some questions. So that's where we are with this, and we'll move on with it in due course. But first, my friends, there's big news out of San Francisco today. 2 school board members, San Francisco School Board, have said that many San Francisco citizens are tired of the white European establishment. Those words are in quotes. And these school board members, 2 of them, want 40% of required reading for high school students to be written by non-white authors. Now, this proposal will be presented at the March 24th meeting. And if the San Francisco School Board adopts the proposal at this meeting, San Francisco could become the first school district in the state of California to require literature based on an author's ethnicity. Most districts in California and the California State Department of Education recommend reading lists that include authors of many backgrounds, but they let teachers choose from those lists. The proposal is ostensibly designed to offer a broader perspective to students, but many feel that it will become as divisive as the debate in Oakland last year over Ebonics. Now, under the proposal in San Francisco, high school English classes would require 10 books per year, with 7 from a reading list and 3 chosen by students. Of the 7, 4 would be required to be by authors who are not Caucasians. Keith Jackson, a school board member who wrote the proposal with his bub, board member Steve Phillips, said, quote, "A lot of folks say they're tired of the white European establishment." And Keith Jackson said that he will push for at least 2 of the required books to be by black authors. He said, "We want to get away from the race thing. Nobody should feel alienated." He said that black children learn differently from other children. This is after he says we ought to get away from the race thing. He says black children learn differently from other children. It's an environmental impact from where they came from. It's some type of handicap. But kids like myself who grew up in the projects have shown that we have an ability to learn. Now, San Francisco at present requires 3 books for high school students. Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, or, for those of you cigar aficionados, of Romeo y Julieta, and Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn. Steve Phillips said, and he's the second school board member pushing for this new proposal, said, quote, "One student told me he stopped counting after reading the N-word 100 times in that book," meaning Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn. Now, the board's proposal would be included a broader overhaul of the high school English curriculum. Instead of offering 1 year each of world, ethnic, American, and English literature, students would take 2 years of American and world literature. The new required readings have not yet been chosen, but they're looking into that. Other board members seem pleased with the direction of the plan, although it's still under revision. Originally, it called for book recommendations from local consulates. So there you have it. Remember, this is not new. The University at Stanford got rid of the Western Sids. Remember that? Ho, 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 Western Sids got to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the stupid chant was. And so Western Civ got the heave-ho at Stanford. The Reverend Jackson led that charge, ladies and gentlemen. And as a result, it's likely it'll happen here because many San Franciscans say that they want it. Now, Buddy the dog is being neutered, and all the obvious jokes are being made out there, like they're getting the wrong one and so forth. But rather than get into all these jokes that everybody else is telling about Buddy the dog being neutered out there, I'd like to read to you the words of the president's physician. There is a White House vet. A White House vet. Well, actually, Clinton's physician, Connie Mariano, has told Doris Day, who is president of the Doris... And by the way, Doris Day is a huge fan of this show. Do you know that? Doris Day loves everything except the animal rights update on this show. My mother and Doris Day have become friends. They write postcards and letters to each other. My mother's been out to see her. And in fact, when I announced on this program that my wife and I had gotten a little Abyssinian kitten, Doris Day said, "This is the greatest news that we've heard all day. Rush is softening in his appeal to animals." But I've never had to soften. I've always loved animals. I just get into arguments about whether they have the same kind of rights that we do. But nevertheless, the White House vet wrote Doris Day in a letter that the Clintons had decided to neuter the dog on the advice of other veterinarians. And they say that Buddy need not worry about losing his procreative abilities. Not that he's not going to lose them, but that Buddy shouldn't worry about it. This is the thing you all ought to know, that the White House has gone to great pains to communicate to Doris Day that this is fine, the doctors have looked into it, and that Buddy will not worry. He needn't worry about losing his procreative abilities. They're going to sit him down and say, "Buddy, don't worry about it. You don't..." My friends, I don't know about you, but this dog is not going to have the slightest idea what's happened, much less worry about it. But you got to, I guess, appease the dog crowd out there, the dog constituency. The White House vet said that Buddy need not worry because pets don't have any concept of sexual identity or ego. Neutering a male dog or cat will not change his basic personality. He doesn't suffer any kind of emotional reaction, or identity crisis when neutered. Now, Buddy is faced with the same dilemma that all the rest of us are, is when the president sits him down to tell him this, Buddy then has to ask, should I believe this guy? We'll be back in a moment.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
I know you care about your child or teenager's future, so I'm about to ask you to do something special. Now, the world today is more competitive than ever. For your child to stand out in school, to rise above the others, he or she will need superior reading, spelling, and reading comprehension skills. Getting these skills is as easy as playing a game. It's called the phonics game. Now, before you get too busy, I want you to call my friends at the phonics game and order one of their advanced reading systems. Why? Well, because the phonics game builds superior reading skills, and that means that your kids will breeze through books and homework. Studying will become easier and more enjoyable. And there's not enough time to tell you about the spelling skills that could place your child at the top of the class. You're going to have to find that out for yourself. Look, order the phonics game now, and with your order, you'll receive the advanced comprehension game. It's a $30 value free. Here's the number, 800-243-READ. 800-243-READ. That's 800-243-READ.
Buying a new car? No doubt you're caught up in a frenzy of options. To sunroof or not to sunroof? A spoiler, perhaps? What about an option you might overlook? Lowering your car insurance rate. One 15-minute call to Geico Direct could save you 15% or more. Do it now, because you can't imagine what tears of regret due to new leather seats. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
Save on your jewelry selections now at Barnes Jewelers. Right now, save 30% off diamonds, diamond jewelry, gold chains and earrings, and up to 50% savings on watches. Gifts for all occasions. Enjoy big savings at Barnes Jewelers, home of Eastern Carolina's best jewelry repair service. 502B Eastgate Drive, Goldsboro.
For special people, give something special from Barnes Jewelers.
Continuing to prove that price sells cars, Leith Chrysler Plymouth Jeep Eagle Leith Dodge Isuzu of Goldsboro has a large selection in stock. A new 98 Dodge Intrepid loaded just $19,695 or $289 a month. A 95 Ford Ranger just $7,995 or $129 a month. And a 96 Isuzu Trooper SC 4x4 just $23,995 or $359 a month. Interest rates as low as 1.9%. See the area's largest selection of program cars, used cars, trucks, and vans where price sells cars. Leith Chrysler Plymouth Jeep Eagle Dodge Isuzu Highway 70 west of Goldsboro.
Hello, folks. I'm Keith Murray, General Manager of Sales Toyota Land here in Goldsboro. Now, folks, I'm no rocket scientist for sure, but I think most people are tired of hearing car commercials that scream at you as if you had a hearing problem. No screaming or hype from us. Folks, the truth is that all Toyota dealers pay the same price for their cars and trucks. Now, if every dealer pays the same, it makes common sense that the dealer with the lowest overhead can afford to sell for the lowest price. Every dealer knows it costs more to live in a big city, and it costs dealers more to do business in a big city. Here at Sales Toyota Land, we don't have a monstrous showroom, no marble floors, no clowns. We don't even have a professional announcer doing our commercials. The reason we don't have those things is because they cost a lot of money, and you, the customer, end up paying for it. Here at Sales Toyota Land, we strive to make car buying simple and fun. Our selection is as good as any big city dealer, and we don't play games. Folks, we treat our customers the way we would want to be treated. Folks, come on out and see us at Sales Toyota Land in Goldsboro. We're your small-town, low-overhead dealer.
WGBR.
Actually, my friends, I'm not through discussing Buddy the dog being neutered. I've had a bunch of email today from people who remembered, and I even think we showed these on television when I had the television show. There's a product out there, and the president ought to be advised of this. President First Lady ought to be advised of this. There's a product out there called Nudicles. And what Nudicles is or are, they are, shall we say, well, what would you call them? You could say yes, they're falsies for neutered male dogs. And they come in 3 or 4 different sizes so that your dog, well, you can do with your dog whatever you want to do here, but I think it's an ideal thing. I even got a note here from a guy, Dear Rush, love your show. Heard that President Clinton's neutering his dog. Recently I had my dog neutered with Neuticals, and I am so happy with the results. I heard about Neuticals on your show. Thought you should get Clinton to do the same for Buddy. He's so happy. The dog owner is so happy with his Neuticals. They're fake. I mean, they can be made, I guess, to look fairly real, and thereby we can protect Buddy's emotional distress. Even though the vets all say that there won't be any, who can take that chance? Who among us would want to take this, especially with the first dog? The other thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that if the president won't go the Neuticals route, probably not. And when this all happens, I think what we ought to do is, when Buddy is neutered, what we ought to do is then make Buddy the official mascot of U.S. foreign policy, because I think it would be a perfect fit, no pun intended. Now, one more personal note. Many of you sent me vicious and vile mail yesterday after our in-depth discussion of smoking, which proved a point. Some of these were very long notes, but it proved my point. Many of you who sent in this vicious and vile mail did not hear much of what I said yesterday. You reacted to the buzzwords. You forgot everything, or never even heard in the first place, everything that followed whatever buzzword sent you off. And then you immediately went to your keyboard and you started pounding out your outraged comments. I have made a terrible blunder. I accidentally deleted them all. I intended to set them up in a folder and share with you some of the vicious and vile, and I would say, yes, my friends, even some vicious, vile hate mail from the anti-smoking Nazis out there, responding in hilarious fashion to our in-depth discussion yesterday of this whole issue. So I'm asking for those of you who sent the vicious, vile mail, send it again if you kept copies of it. Some of you, I don't know, you'll be able to recreate it because you obviously wrote with such impassioned emotion yesterday. But if you kept copies, which is a wise thing to do, keep a copy of everything you send out. You did that. You could simply resend me the mail, because I've been having all sorts of problem with my email program, and in attempting to fix it, I've needed to clear the database, which means deleting everything in it. And I unfortunately had not filed all of those vicious and vile, and indeed, in some circumstances, hate notes. They still remained in the database, and they got zapped. They're gone. It was a terrible mistake. I wasn't thinking about it. So if you could send them back, I'd much appreciate it. The phone number to do that, not phone number, the email address to do that is rush@eibnet.com. I have set up what is called a mail action. If you just put the word smoking in any note, and it'll go right into a new folder that I have set up called Vicious and Vile Mail. And that way I won't have to find it out of the thousands and thousands of general correspondence that I receive on a daily broadcast basis. So if you do that, in fact, let me double check that mail action here, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, let me just make sure that saved it. I'm going to recreate it. Hang on just a second here, friends. I'm just going to do this right now so that I can be guaranteed that what I am saying to you is actually by the way, I want you to put the word smoking, and just put that word, put smoking, in the message text. Don't put it in the subject. In the subject line. Don't put it in the address line. Don't put it anywhere but in the, well, you can put it there. Put it in the make sure it is in the message text. That way, my state-of-the-art program will funnel it right to the vicious, vile mail folder. This has now been officially set up. There it is. It's in there. I'm now moving it to the top of the priority list to make sure that now I know what's going to happen having done this. And I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to get around this, but there is a way to do it. Those of you who want me to read your mail that has nothing to do with smoking, are going to put that word in there somewhere so that all the mail will go into that vicious, vile folder. I'm asking you to use the honor system. If you're sending mail that isn't vicious and vile, and by the way, this is how I'm going to nab you. I'm not going to tell you how I'll nab you, but most of the time that will not work because I have other filters set up to protect me from, troublesome men I'd rather not deal with and so forth. So go ahead. I'm not going to just put smoking in the message text, and if you could just send your vicious, vile mail back to me so I can share some of it with the audience, I would be more than happy to receive it. This will all be fun, Mr. Snerdley. The address is rush@eibnet.com. Let's go to the phones. Bakersfield, California. Mark, hello. Welcome to the program.
Dittos, Rush.
Thank you.
What I wanted to say very easy is I was watching MSNBC just a minute ago, and I saw that you called Geraldo live last night.
I did call Geraldo live.
And what I found so interesting about what you said is that nobody has a sense of humor about what you're doing when you were talking about the conspiracy theory. Everybody takes it so serious. Everybody's got to be so serious, so serious. And you did the parody with the group called Kooks. Kooks.
Yeah, that would be the Keepers of Odd Knowledge Society.
Yeah, and just the left, they have no sense of humor. Russia's starting this right-wing conspiracy, and he's doing all this, and he's doing all that. And why don't they just sit back for a second and laugh?
Because, I'm glad you called. I didn't know if anybody would call about this. I wasn't going to bring it up. I was on Geraldo for 1 minute and 53 seconds. At my request, I called beginning yesterday afternoon. I actually had Cookie call him yesterday afternoon. I wanted to get in and straighten something out because I got something was very, very suspicious yesterday. Now, I talked a little bit about this yesterday morning. I got in here yesterday morning. There was email all over the place telling me that Jonathan Alter of Newsweek had been on a morning radio show and had been discussing the McDougal death. And the discussion then veered to the obvious. Well, the conspiracy theorists are out, he didn't die naturally. It's the Clinton crowd somehow offed McDougal. And Jonathan Alter said, oh, yeah, Rush Limbaugh got that started today. And
it was all done in humor.
Well, of course it was. But the point is, I called Jonathan Alter yesterday after this happened and told him. I asked him, did you hear the program? And he said, no, he hadn't, but somebody had told him. Now, that, I think, is a very interesting aspect of this because of what comes next in the story. But I don't have time to complete the story before our next commercial break. So I'll pick this up after the break and explain all of this to you so there is no doubt and no confusion about what we're discussing. Stay with us, my friends. We'll be right back in an El Jiffo. My friends, you've been hearing a lot about Clean Shower. It's an incredible product that eliminates the need to clean your shower. In answer to enormous consumer requests, Clean Shower has now come out with a new removable label for an all-white decorative bottle. And Clean Shower is also available in an economical half-gallon refill. It's available at stores everywhere. Now, if you can't find it, ask your store manager for it. But be careful of phonies, fakes, and frauds. Get Clean Shower, the original patented formula.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
It's time for a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR. Another day under the watchful eye of local authorities for the accused hitman of Eureka Police Chief Ricky Guthrie. Local authorities and the State Bureau of Investigation have a lot of questions for 39-year-old Linwood Ray Boykin of Main Street after he was accused by Guthrie's wife, Suzanne, of being the hitman she chose to kill the police chief. Boykin was identified in a warrant. Suzanne, who was jailed earlier this week after confessing to the plot, is now out of jail on bond. The motive, an insurance policy worth almost $500,000. Local authorities continue to follow leads in the robbery of a local man last week, and they're asking for your help to bring the case to a close. According to police, Tuesday of last week, Wilbert Edmondson was assaulted and robbed by two men who got away with cash. The white male accused in the robbery was around 50 years old. about 6 feet tall and weighed about 160 pounds. The black man accused was around 30. There was no getaway vehicle. Both left the area on foot. Anyone with information is asked to call the Goldsboro Police Department or Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers have identified the robbery as this week's crime of the week. If you provide information that leads to an arrest, a cash reward up to $1,000 may be yours. Wayne Memorial Hospital President Jim Humble at last night's annual Board of Directors dinner confirmed that a grant in excess of $300,000 through the Duke Endowment that will make way for additional school nurses has been approved. Currently, there are 2 school nurses funded in Wayne County Public Schools. The grant will provide the funds for the addition of 4, bringing the total number of school nurses to 6. The second phase of development in Wayne County's Industrial Park East has now begun. It started yesterday with County Commissioner approval of an engineering contract. The total estimated cost, $1.3 million. The county will have access to 7 lots in the back section of the park. McDavid and Associates was awarded the contract to perform the design work and make preparations for water and sewer. The commissioner's vote was 5-1, with Commissioner Andy Anderson voting no. Anderson said the specifics of the project should be discussed more before approval. Anderson made a motion to table the matter. The motion did not pass. That's a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR.
A weak upper-level system will move across the state late today into tonight, and then high pressure digs in with some more cold air. Morning sunshine giving way to partly to afternoon clouds. Highs 40 to 45 for a chilly day. Early flurries tonight, then clearing skies and near-record cold. The overnight low in the upper teens to low 20s. Tomorrow, skies become mostly sunny. Still cold out there. Highs in the upper 30s to mid-40s. In the Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chris Thompson.
Performing my job with flawless broadcast excellence, this is Rush Limbaugh on WGBR. We're back. It's Rush Limbaugh, the Excellence in Broadcasting Network. Broadcast excellence underway. 1-800-282-2882. More on the David Brock situation today as we continue the broadcast. But first, let me conclude the story. I called Jonathan Alter, and he was very nice. I don't want anybody to think that any of this was hostile at any time, because it wasn't. I called Jonathan Alter, and he was apologetic and admitted that he had not heard the program, but that he had been told that we had gotten the conspiracy stuff started on the McDougal situation. I said, well, we did, but I mean, it was done in a satirical and parodical way, which is my want. I said, you know, Jonathan, and I said, I want to talk to you about this at greater length, because you member of the mainstream press. I mean, I'm sure you would agree with me that Newsweek is not the National Enquirer. But to many in the mainstream press, talk radio is monolithic. You go out and find a lowest common denominator talk show host, and then you assume that all talk radio is that way. And I don't know why there isn't more discrimination in judging various talk shows, as there is in comparing the value and worth and class of television shows and magazines. And I said, a lot of, maybe what I was doing was a little bit too subtle for some people, but the fact of the matter is that this was done as an exercise in fun, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep the people who believe in the McDougal conspiracy off the air. It'd be too big a job for Mr. Snerdley, and I said, let's find the most outrageous ones that we can get, and see if it is possible to let people know exactly what it is that's going on out there, and then hear what people are thinking. I said, that's a good exercise, and it's always worthwhile, and it can be entertaining. And he said, okay, fine, and he apologized very much for it. And I thought, okay, it's done, it's finished. Then I spoke with Cookie Gleason, and she said that the same thing had happened the night before on Geraldo with Dee Dee Myers. So I said, well, get a transcript. So we got a transcript, and we read the transcript, and Dee Dee, boy, it was so close to what Jonathan Alter had said. The claim that the McDougal conspiracy stuff. I told Alter about it. I said, look, John, You know, go on the internet, log on some of these places, you find that the conspiracy buffs don't like me because I don't put them on the air. They think that I'm a member of the Council on Foreign Relations of Trilateral. I'm a trilateralist to these people. And he laughed. And I said, look at this, D.D. Myers. This is almost the same, wasn't quite word for word, but it was the same inference or implication, and it struck me that they both had been, and this is the key if you ask me, if they both had been told by the same person what had ostensibly happened on this program on Monday. And I said, well, this is really odd. Somebody is spreading this stuff around, and it's interesting how, and I started thinking, but it's amazing the stuff that I get quoted on or am referencing. In whose interest is it for talk radio and the most listened to political talk show in America to be considered to be nothing more than a haven for kooks and oddballs?
From him, and I wanted to correct that because it really isn't true. I'm not liked by the conspiracy crowd because I don't entertain their ideas or thoughts very often. And on Monday I just assumed that I wouldn't be able to get by without talking to them because it was going to be so dominating, and I just decided to have a little fun with it, and I was engaged in some subtle parody and satire and put on with those people, and I guess some people who heard it actually thought they were seriously discussing the conspiratorial...
You're not a card-carrying member of the Keepers of, what do you call Keepers of Offbeat Knowledge?
Well, I established, as a repository for information about the McDougal death, I established a new society called the Keepers of Odd Knowledge Society. The acronym of that is KOOKS. And that got it all started, and we started taking various theories that people... Because I want people to hear what actually is thought of by people out there.
It's out there, brother. But you don't subscribe to it. I just have 30 seconds for the break.
No, can't prove it, and it's irrelevant anyway to the situation. I think it's intellectually lazy to believe in conspiracy theories, and I'm not into that, and it's too easy to get wrapped up in it, and I really don't do it, and I just wanted to correct it because it's an impression that a lot of people have that's not right, and I appreciate you allowing me to do that.
You got it, Rush. All right.
Take care.
That's how it went, and the caller from Bakersfield is right. Some people just don't have a sense of humor, although in this case, I actually think that it was a purposeful distortion. And it's good, too, because now, if I'm right, and I'm just guessing, of course, but Dee Dee and Jonathan Alder will both now question whoever it was that told them this, and that source has just lost a little credibility with them, perhaps. We'll see. Got a quick break here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get back to your phone calls in a moment. Stay with us.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
How would you like to pay 5 cents for long-distance calls? Not kidding, we're talking a nickel here. Net2Phone is an innovative service that allows you to make long-distance calls for as little as 5 cents per minute to anywhere in the U.S. and saves you up to 95% off those costly international rates. With Net2Phone, you don't need to wait till Sunday or set your alarm clock for 4 a.m. or do any other stupid things the other companies make you do to take advantage of the great rate. It's as low as 5 cents per minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no tricks. And it's yours now by calling toll-free 1-800-788-5358. The rates are so great because Net2Phone routes your call over the internet. That doesn't mean you need a computer or a PhD in astrophysics. All you need is a regular telephone and an access code. Net2Phone means long-distance calls without the long-distance rates or hassle. Remember, 5 cents. Try to beat that. And they'll never call you during dinner. As a matter of fact, they won't call you at all. Toll-free 1-800-788-5358. That's 1-800-788-5358. Net2Phone is a subsidiary of IDT. Rates may vary depending on location. 5-cent rate available in most metro areas and to IDT long-distance customers only.
Make a donut stop at a Krispy Kreme shop. Get them fresh and plump and tasty. Make a donut stop at a Krispy Kreme shop and treat yourself today.
This week's bagel special, ham and Swiss cheese on any bagel, choice of any donut and medium soft drink, only $2.99 at Krispy Kreme, 2601 East Ash Street, Goldsboro.
Make a donut stop at a Krispy Kreme shop. Get them fresh and plump and tasty. Make a donut stop at a Krispy Kreme shop and treat yourself to a donut stop.
Open 24 hours a day.
Everywhere you turn these days, some communications company is bombarding you with its latest deal. Deals based on time, days of the week, even one about how many friends you have. What about deals based on appreciation? Aren't companies thankful for your business anymore? 360 Communications is, and we show our thanks with bundled savings. Combine any two of our services, cellular, paging, or long distance, and you'll save automatically. For instance, bundle 360 Cellular with our residential long distance, and you get one low rate for long distance from your home or cellular phone. Just choose the services you want, and not only will we lower the cost of communicating, we'll put it all on one easy bill. Ask about bundled savings at your local 360 store, or call us at 1-888-CALL-360 anytime you want. This offer does not end soon. Bundled savings is not limited to the first 50 callers. Feel free to save money at your leisure.
360 Communications. Cellular, paging, long distance. Right down the street.
No one will beat the prices at Snipes Ford. Check out the Windstar with a $1,500 rebate or 2.9% APR for 48 months. And the 98 Mustang gets you a $1,200 rebate or 2.9% APR for 48 months. No one beats the prices at Snipes Ford. The best price, the best product, the best service after the sale, and customer friendly. That's Snipes Ford, 321 East Ash Street, Goldsboro.
WGGR.
It is exactly 12:45 Eastern Time on Wednesday, March 11th. I have a health bulletin. Governor Jim Guy Tucker, our key figure in the Whitewater investigation, is eating well, breathing well, and moving well. He is alive. Ditto for Kathleen Willey. As of 12:45, March 11th, Eastern Time in America.
Making my way through these second term days, watching my words, every phrase I say, can star out to prove that I conspire. Wearing a wire, happened before with a girl named Flowers. Recorded phone calls that went on for hours, and Trip called Monica singing like a choir. Wearing a wire, wearing a wire, wearing a wire, wearing a wire. There's such slime out to prove my crimes, snipping at non-stop rhymes to prove I'm a liar. Wearing a wire, wearing a wire, wearing a wire, wearing a wire. You know I'm a lover that's free in spirit, hugging each babe, and you know I can't quit. But now I've got to frisk those I desire. Wearing a wire, wearing a wire, wearing a wire, wearing a wire. I need time to get all my ducks in line. First silence, now I'm a bind. The cost has gone higher. Wearing a wire, 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 wearing a wire.
Paul Shanklin as Vice President Al Gore and President Clinton wearing a wire. On the EIB network, Rush Limbaugh at 1-800-282-2882. And now to the phones. Eileen, you're first today from Lisbon Falls. Well, second, actually, Lisbon Falls.
Hi there, Rush.
Maine. Thank
Hi
you.
there, Rush. How you doing?
Fine, thanks.
Good. Today, the lawyers for Clinton came out, no pun intended, Mr. Brock, but said that he will probably testify before the grand jury if Lewinsky testifies first. Now, don't you think, Rush, that the reasoning behind this is so Clinton and his legal minions can adjust his story so it fits the The whole Lewinsky testimony after Ginsburg leaks what she says in the grand jury?
I don't know that Ginsburg will leak it. I don't know how it'll come out, but they will know. There's a joint defense agreement in there that I don't know if Ginsburg's part of it. It will leak. You're exactly right. And you're a woman after my heart, because I'm going to tell you this has been the president's strategy all along.
And can't people see it, and can't Starr stop it? Does he have to agree to him testifying first? If it's Starr's case, can't he call the shots?
No, Starr can call the shots, but you see, the problem is Starr cannot compel, in this case, Clinton to testify at all, because Clinton's the target. All he can do is invite Clinton. Clinton and I, see, the White House is trying to make you think that they are the ones who got this whole notion of Clinton speaking to the grand jury themselves. They got it. They want you to think that, hey, we're willing to talk. We're willing to talk to the investigation. We're willing to help out here. But that's not what happened. I'm sure Starr called them first, and the White House is just now spinning it, saying that they got this ball rolling. But you are exactly right. The entire point all along here has been to have Monica go first. That's why the executive privilege claim. The whole point is to see to it that Starr goes through every witness he's got and has to put Lewinsky on in order to keep the investigation underway. Because until Monica gives her version under oath in that grand jury, the President of the United States does not know what his version of the story will be. Another way of saying it, my friends, the President of the United States does not know what he has to lie about until Lewinsky has spoken. Colin in Dothan, Alabama. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Rush. Actually, it's pronounced Colin, but I wanted to go back to the San Francisco story about the school board. Huckleberry Finn is actually the story of a young man helping a slave escape. The turning point of the story about midway through is when Huckleberry Finn decides to help Jim escape down the Mississippi, and the rest of the book is about their trip. So I don't understand why these two folks object to that book when it is, about an issue near and dear to their heart, I would imagine.
Well, come on. Do you really not know?
Well, obviously, I mean, they don't like the fact that it's a white male, but...
No. It's because they claim there are over 100 uses of the N-word in it, and that trumps whatever other value, if any, in their opinion, is in this story or book.
But, Rush, I'm willing to bet that if I have not read Huckleberry Finn in a long time, but I am willing to bet that most of those N-words were by black people in the book themselves, because, I mean, it was not used. I mean, it was a common use. Did not have the negative context that it does today. I mean, it was
maybe so, but okay. Now you're getting to the point. See, I think the point here is one of literature and context. If contemporary standards were applied to all education, how much of the past would be shielded from our kids? For example, why even? We do know from, for example, from the O.J. Simpson trial that the use of the N-word is a bigger offense, a greater offense than murdering your wife. We know this. It has been established in a Los Angeles court. Well, that ought to give you the first clue where we are. But using this logic, okay, the N-word is in Huckleberry Finn, they say 100 times. And so, therefore, Huckleberry Finn is not suitable reading material. How much of history would we have to shield and protect our kids from because we don't like what the history was? Suppose we're not going to teach the history of the Soviet Union and Stalin and Lenin and their mass starvation and murder because it's just too tragic. The people, the kids cannot handle this. We're not going to teach them about Genghis Khan. They don't teach them the truth of the Soviet Union anyway. It's a bad example. They tell them how wonderful the Soviet Union was, and if only the United States could have been it. But I don't exaggerate much there, folks. But you get my point. These are just small-minded, symbolic multiculturalists who have a greater concern in symbolism than in education. I have warned you people throughout the years of the dangers of multiculturalists and multiculturalism. And I will tell you that multiculturalists are basically a bunch of angry people They are people who feel that they have somehow failed to realize their full potential, and they blame the American system for it. And they're taking out their wrath on their charges, the students. And they're taking young American kids who don't know any better, and they're teaching them gobbledygook, and they expose them to a curriculum which in many cases ends up causing these kids to hate their very own country. And this is just the latest manifestation of it. Nothing more than that. We've got a break. We'll be back with more in a moment, my friends. Stay with us.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
If you sniffle or sneeze from dust and allergies, listen up. I have some news that may literally change your life. Now, for 5 years, you've heard me talk about my friends at Allergy Free Filters, the permanent replacement for your disposable furnace filter. Well, after 10 years and literally millions of satisfied customers, the scientists at Allergy Free, dressed in white lab coats, working without government grants, have advanced the science of electrostatic air filters once again with the new Aller Pure filter. Aller Pure slips right into the place of your old disposable furnace filter. Plus, it removes hundreds of times more dust and particles than the old one. Now, if you've acted on my words before and own the original allergy-free filter, please call 1-800-ALLERGY-NOW, and you'll receive a trade-in credit towards the new Aller Pure filter. And, of course, if you're a new customer, you'll receive a special price when you call 1-800-ALLERGY. If you'd like a sneeze-free home, call them, 1-800-ALLERGY, and make that call now. You deserve to be sneeze-free, don't you?
Police Department, Sergeant John speaking.
Oh, please come quick. They're holding me hostage.
Now, calm down, ma'am. Can you try to describe them?
They're brown, ugly, and have antennas.
Ma'am?
They're roaches.
Roaches? Is that your last name?
That's their only name. They're bugs, for goodness sake.
Well, you don't need the police. You need Griffin Exterminating. They can wipe out any pest problem you've got.
Even a leech?
You've got leeches, too.
Just one.
Ma'am?
My brother-in-law.
For all your pest problems, call Griffin Exterminating. Whether it's termites, fleas, or roaches, Griffin Exterminating is sure to come to the rescue. Call 735-3928.
Just wait until you taste all the delicious lunch items on the Seafood and Country Buffet at Madison's. The buffet at Madison's features 6 to 8 meats daily with daily features. On Tuesday, it's roast beef au jus. Wednesdays, it's fried pork chops. Thursdays, Madison's features backbone and homemade meatloaf. And on Fridays, it's barbecue pork ribs. Madison's is known for great evening dining, so why not try them for lunch? The buffet is only $4.99. The next time you want a great lunch at a great price, make it Madison's. Prime rib and steak, 413 New Hope Road, Goldsboro.
With the ever-increasing knowledge explosion, your child can gain needed help through the proven programs at Academics Plus. Now in year-round, Academics Plus offers assistance in reading, writing, and math. Help assure your child's future. For free consultation without obligation, call Drs. Ken and Marilyn Benton at Academics Plus. For basic education needs, SAT prep, and other educational assistance, call 735-PLUS. That's 735-7587. Academics Plus, educating for success since 1989.
Barnes, Braswell, and Haycock are your hometown attorneys at 231 East Walnut Street in downtown Goldsboro, across from the courthouse. Barnes, Braswell, and Haycock have been representing the interest of Goldsboro and Wayne County citizens for over 35 years in the areas of personal injury and workers' compensation. Gene Braswell, Tim Haycock, and Glenn Barfield have the experience in these areas and would be glad to discuss your case. Barnes, Braswell, and Haycock, 735-6420.
Telephone number 1-800-282-2882. Rush Limbaugh on the Excellence in Broadcasting Network, Durwood, Maryland. Tim, you're up. Hello.
Hello, Rush. Great talking to you.
Thank you very much, sir.
I know you're pressed for time, so I'll get right to it. Rush, I heard your commentary on smoking yesterday, and I got it. But I tell you, I guess you've said this before yourself, but you can keep giving detailed talks till the cows come home. And these people who are just already in that mindset, they're just not going to get it. They don't want to get it because it's like, you said, and we've always known, they're not going to stop till they take our freedoms away from us. They don't care about the truth. They just want to power
Well,
over
but
us.
you're talking about the anti-smoking Nazi leaders. I was trying to talk yesterday to the average American citizen who has been seduced by the hysteria, and simply trying to present other things for them to think about, not accept blindly, just to think about. And I was amazed at all of the vile, vicious response I got from what I guess are average citizens who, you're right, don't understand the concept of freedom. Well, we'll be back. We'll continue this, my friends. Stay with us.
Great Scott, great service, great price, Scott Motor Company.
If you're in the market for a new car or truck, buyers have a choice in Wayne County. And the smart choice is Scott Motor Company, your hometown dealer. Scott offers great deals on Pontiacs, Buicks, and GMC trucks. And they've got a great selection. Plus, when you buy from Scott Motor Company, you're assured of great service after the sale from their award-winning service department. Scott Motor Company is owned by the Scott family, and they've been taking care of their customers just like you for over 75 years. When you buy from Scott Motor Company, you're buying from hometown people. Scott Motor Company is your hometown dealer. Get a great deal at Scott Motor Company on a new Pontiac, Buick, or GMC truck. Scott Motor Company, Highway 70 bypass Goldsboro, your hometown dealer.
Scott Motor Company, great Scott, price ever cost so little.
First in Wayne County. Hear what everybody's talking about. 1150 WGBR Goldsboro.
NBC Radio News. A cold snap is not only causing shivers in the South, but worries about spring fruit crops. Georgia's Commissioner of Agriculture, Tommy Irvin, says it's not just the Georgia peach that could be damaged.
One of our other more famous crops, the Vidalia onion, is highly developed now, and this kind of weather could damage that crop as well.
In Albany, Georgia, the Flint River is starting to recede after forcing 11,000 to higher ground, but authorities say it could rise again before it crests. In the Midwest, things have not gotten much better for areas buried by a blizzard earlier in the week. Indianapolis State Police Clerk David Vermeulen says Interstate 65 linking Indianapolis and Chicago is still closed today.
Lake effect snow blowing, causing whiteout conditions. Visibility is zero in a lot of that area there where it's closed.
More snow did fall in northern Indiana today on top of the foot already on the ground. I'm Barbara Porter.
Most car accidents happen weekdays, 9 to 5, right? Right. Try Saturday night when your car insurance agent is spending quality time with his TV remote. Happily, Geico works 24 hours a day, every day. So on weekends, someone's actually behind a desk to get your claim going or start your policy. Call Geico Direct at 1-800-947-AUTO. 1-800-947-AUTO. One 15-minute call could save you 15% or more. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
Tom Chappell on what makes the difference in Tom's of Maine natural toothpaste.
Tom's toothpaste is an exciting difference from what's on the market because it is something from natural sources. And it does work. The teeth get really clean. They are getting the protection of fluoride. So we're not asking anybody to give up anything at Tom's of Maine. We're asking people to think differently. Nature works. It's that simple.
Look for Tom's of Maine wherever natural products are sold.
A Whitewater grand jury is meeting in Washington, but no witnesses have shown up so far today. Meantime, the White House is not commenting on how or when President Clinton will testify. Outside Washington, a military jury in the sexual misconduct court-martial of the Army's top enlisted man is now deliberating Sergeant Major Gene McKinney's fate. Here's correspondent Joe Walsh.
The jury will be looking at the 19 counts facing McKinney. It's alleged he groped or crudely pressured 6 military women for sex. The charges range from adultery, a crime in the military, to obstruction of justice for allegedly trying to persuade one of his accusers to lie. Unlike a civilian jury where a conviction is possible only with a unanimous decision, only 2/3 of a military panel need to agree. So since there are 8 panel members in the case, only 6 have to agree for a conviction. If convicted on all the charges, McKinney could face more than 55 years in prison. McKinney has denied all the charges brought against him. Joe Walsh, Fort Belvoir, Virginia.
A millionaire's teen daughter has entered a guilty plea in the death of a 44-year-old real estate broker in New York Central Park in a plea deal with authorities. 16-year-old Daphne Abdella will testify against her boyfriend in his murder trial. A federal judge has ordered Iran to pay $248 million in damages for an American woman killed during a suicide bombing in the Gaza Strip in 1995. If you're traveling by air and have packed your film in your suitcase, think again. Seems the new bomb scanning devices airports are using now can ruin camera film. Tom DeVisi of the Photographic and Imaging Manufacturers Association says better to carry it on.
The suggestion is bring your film with you to the gate, and you can, if you're not going to travel too long or too often, go through too many gates, you can let it go through the X-ray. If you'd like, though, the FAA regulations do allow for a hand search.
On Wall Street at this hour, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 35, trading at 86.78. With NBC Radio News, I'm Barbara Porter.
Telcard needs you to take a minute of your time to tell you about the most exciting business opportunity of a lifetime and how you can get started. A business where there's no selling required, no debts to collect, no books to keep, absolutely no overhead, and the best part is it's an all-cash business. 800-791-0999. That's 1-800-791-0999. Find out how with a small investment you can earn possibly $500 a week or more, maybe a lot more, and work as little as 5 hours a week. Whether you're spinning your wheels at your present job, retired, or just need extra income, call 800-791-0999 to find out about this exciting opportunity in this explosive new industry and how you can get started. Imagine working 5 hours a week and possibly make $25,000 a year. You deserve the financial security you've always wanted. Get in on this ground floor opportunity that's about to explode on the American market. Timing is critical, so call 1-800-791-0999. That's 800-791-0999.
Hi, this is Dr. Joy Brown. As the turn of the century approaches, the changes leading up to it affect all of us. Please join me weekday mornings starting at 9 as I talk with people just like you who present interesting situations which you may face at some time or another in your life. I discuss everything from relationships to attitudes and the day-to-day struggles we all encounter. Tune in to the Dr. Joy Brown program Monday through Friday, 9 to noon. Hear what everybody's talking about on 1150 WGBR.
Couple systems affecting our weather. One is an upper-level system that'll bring us a chance for some flurries early tonight. The other is cold high pressure in the Midwest. Sunny skies to start off with this morning, then we'll see some afternoon clouds roll in. Highs will range from only 40 to 45. Flurries early tonight from cloudy skies and clearing skies and near record cold, with the overnight low in the upper teens to low 20s. Mostly sunny, still cold tomorrow, high upper 30s to mid 40s. I'm meteorologist Chris Thompson in the Weather Center.
Performing my job with flawless broadcast excellence, this is Rush Limbaugh on WGBR. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings to you, conversationalists all across the fruited plain. The award-winning thrill-packed Rush Limbaugh program well underway. We are approaching 1:07 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, March 11th. Health Bulletin. At this hour, former Arkansas Governor Jim Guy Tucker, a key figure in the Whitewater investigation, is eating well, breathing well, and moving well. Jim Guy Tucker is alive. We will have more on Jim Guy Tucker and his extreme relevance to the Whitewater investigation later in the program. Phone number, if you'd like to join us, is 800-282-2882, and our email address is rush@eibnet.com. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got more smoking news, not along the same lines as yesterday, if you're irritated, but there is more tobacco news out there. Paul Silhan with a smoking update theme song.
Listen to me, maybe I can make you understand. I would walk a mile out of breath for a drag. Listen to me, I love the Marlboro Man. I'd rather rather fight than switch my favorite brand. Give your New Deal a whirl, but I'll adjust in the end. The old camel is through, but it's still legal to satisfy my end. The paper's been signed on the dotted line, but I can't stop. I can't stop. Line up, he strikes again. Line up, he strikes again. Nicotine has given me a one-track mind. If you want us kicking butts, then make it a crime. The health police are saying such a fool, but they aren't gonna change me by passing some rules. Would us victims settle down if the companies just apologize? It won't help me quit, but at least I'll be less criticized. Well, I never took the shine to their low tar kind, so I can't stop. I can't stop. Line up, he strikes again. Line up, he strikes again.
Before I draw my last breath, I will pour my heart and soul into the cause of protecting our children from the dangers of smoking.